Hello, everybody. It's Jen again. Do not adjust your television sets. I am in front of the camera and I'm not in my vehicle. I'm actually over here in my office in the house. This is where I normally film my art videos. So I got my microphone here and just this old webcam I've had for a while. I usually have a webcam pointed out the desk for my art videos, but now you get to see all this. We're just chilling out. I'm in my pajamas. Literally, I come by these holes on this, honestly. Like, I'm telling y'all what, y'all usually see me in my work clothes. If I am not at work, I am bumming it in clothes, okay? I have like 3 wardrobe categories. I have work clothes, I have outside work clothes, and I have house clothes / jammies. That's it. When I'm not at work, I'm in comfy clothes, and we are not fancy on this channel. Got me some warm mint tea. Love it. Oh, so good. I go through phases with it. I won't drink it for a couple months, and then I want mint tea all the time. And I don't have one of those fancy backdrops. I don't care to. I have a very small house. I cannot devote a whole corner of something just so it looks like nobody lives here. So I am pumped, though, because that purse on the back wall there I've been hunting for a while, and little did I know it was hanging on the back of my office door. We got all kinds of stuff. We got my planners, we got my back roller, my yoga mat, and then on this side we got like my recycling, my pet supplies. I mean, we got a whole bunch of fun stuff. Got some stuff piled in my windows. It's all good. I live here, so I have a little tiny house. I'm not sacrificing a whole corner for it. I mean, this ain't my full-time job, okay? But anyway, whole nother story, whole nother day. I'm here to talk with y'all about what I eat because I've had some questions, and I've been posting like grocery hauls, and I don't know if it's up yet, but I've been trying to film some what I eat in a days, because I like watching those, and maybe some meal prep videos. It's untelling. It's untelling what I've got up to. But I thought it'd just be beneficial to just have a video just telling y'all what I eat. And I got to give y'all a snapshot because I know not everybody watches every video. So, hi, I'm Jen. I'm 36. I'll turn 37 here at the end of the year. Morbidly obese for 35 of those 36 years. That means more than 100 pounds overweight. In the last about 17 months, I don't know, a little over a year and a half, whatever that is, I've lost about almost 120 pounds, and I have about 45 left to go. Done it through diet and very mild exercise, and just slowly teaching myself about nutrition and all. I mean, I don't want to say it all started, because honestly, when you've been obese for that long, I've tried about every diet there is, every exercise there is. Like, I played sports, all kinds of stuff. But this time, what really worked, I guess, what started in January 2021, found out I had high blood pressure, and then about a month later, I found out of the blue, after never having it in my blood work, that I was type 2 diabetic pretty badly. So, yeah, that just changed a lot of things, because there's no food on this earth that is worth going through the progression of that if I could help it. But that's a whole nother story, whole nother day. But that's kind of what started it. And I just want to talk about kind of how I eat now, talk about where I was coming from that led up to that, and kind of circle back around. Or that's the intention. I don't have an outline or anything. We just chill, we just talk. It's not going to be anything to really look at in this video, unless I think my cat Ollie's in here somewhere. I don't know where he's at, but if he gets up to something, I'll let y'all know. But this could just be one you could listen to. Those are my favorite. I discovered wireless headphones not too long ago. And I mean, I love like cooking and, doing stuff and be listening to things while I'm doing it, if that makes sense. And I don't have my wires. I know, I'm a few years behind, but I got there. And y'all let me know. It's pitch black dark. Another thing, if I waited until the lighting was perfect and the planets aligned, I would never film. So we just go with it. We're all friends here. We just go with it. Now, before I get into talking about eating, I just want to say there is, in my opinion, there is no specific way to eat that works for everyone. There's no specific diet that's going to work for everyone. Anybody that's trying to sell you a specific diet plan saying that it's 100% guaranteed to work for everyone, or whatever, they're trying to sell you something. Exactly. Some diets are going to work great for others, and not for others. That didn't come out right, but y'all know what I mean. The best diet, I think, for a person is the one that they can do their entire life. I even hate using the word diet because I think that implies, and that's where I have failed in the past, because being obese that long, tried about everything out there, and you would lose 30-40 pounds and then gain it back, and so the cycle goes. I think I've been doing that since I was in elementary school. Ollie jumped up here, y'all may hear him. Come here, Ollie, let me show y'all real quick before we get into it. Come here, bud. Oh, you don't like to be picked up. You don't like to be picked up. You don't like it. You're just tolerating it. Come here. Oh, you're stuck in my shirt, hun. Let's get you out. Good boy. Go on. Go on. Good boy. But the best one for you, I get distracted, is something you can do forever. So that's why when I say diet, I mean a way of eating. I don't mean I'm going to do this and suffer until I lose X amount of pounds and I'm going to go back to eating how I was. Because if you've been obese a long time, the way you're eating ain't working. Just point blank period. I had to tell myself that, and that was a lot. That's a whole nother video, just learning how to be honest with myself, and just it's been a lot. So how I'm eating right now is I eat low carb, so not keto, although I do enjoy some of those keto treats and things you can get up to with keto stuff. But I eat a little more carbs than you would on keto, and now probably quite a bit more than you could on a keto diet. I think keto is 20 net carbs you can't go over, and some people do total carbs, which I didn't know this, so I'll just put this out there for anybody. Total carbs is just literally counting carbs. Net carbs is you take the total carbs and minus your fiber. So if you got something that's 20 total carbs with 10 fiber, it would be 10 net carbs. So there you go. But I tried that. It was a little too low for me. I would get really shaky, and I didn't feel well on it at all. Again, that's not going to be everybody's experience. I know a lot of people who have done it and done very well on it. When I first started getting into low carb, which I checked where I had logged on MyFitnessPal back when all this started. I just used the free MyFitnessPal. There's tons of apps out there. I actually didn't start low carb. I thought it was earlier till I think mid-March. So I went a couple months, and after my diabetes diagnosis, because I tell you what, I didn't know what a carb, like I've heard the term carb, but I know what had carbs in it, what didn't. Like I didn't understand that. I literally had to pull everything up. Like I would go on MyFitnessPal and I'd search up a food and I would look and see how many carbs are in it, and I was like, well, shoot fire, and everything. But I think when I started, I went around like 35 to like 50 net carbs. I'll be honest, I didn't count it that close, but I just focused on learning about a few foods that I knew were low carbs, and I ate those, and I built up from there. And now I still do low carb, and I'm slowly adding a little more in the form of fruit. So I'm eating a little more fruit, and also since I've got the weight off, I've been upping my physical activity a bit more. So that's kind of where I'm at now. And why did I choose to go low carb? I'd like to say that it was this just profound decision and all this other stuff. I'll tell you how it actually happened. So when I found out I was diabetic and high blood pressure, my doctor put me on lisinopril and metformin. And when I went to fill the prescription for the metformin, and I had never been on a prescription before ever, unless it was just something I had to take for like 2 or 3 days to knock something out and be done with it. And the pharmacist is like, has your doctor talked to you about the side effects of this? And the pharmacist said that, bless her heart, she is my hero. And I was like, no. And she's like, this is really hard on your stomach. It can be. So me being the nerd I am, I went home and I started researching, and I saw that, from my understanding, again, I'm a random fat lady on the internet, I'm not a medical professional, that if you ate a bunch of carbs on this thing like you have been, you could be cruising for some digestive adventures of the gnarly kind. So I had, at the time, the job I was in, I had a commute that was between 45 minutes to an hour each way, and I had crazy long shifts that, there was a lot of times between breaks, and we were on the whole pandemic protocol, so still makes no sense to me. They had everybody on our floor using like one bathroom, and it was mostly all women, so I think like 75 women. I mean, there was always a huge line for the bathroom, and I'm thinking, we can't have these digestive adventures. This is not allowed for in the budget. So I started eating low carb, just terrified that I was gonna get really sick to my stomach, and I have such a sensitive stomach anyway. So I did low carb again. Not quite as low as keto, and I forgot to say, another reason I didn't do keto was so many of the things relied on like MCT oil, which is coconut based, and all these coconut oils and coconut flakes and fat bombs and things like that. I'm allergic to coconut. So most of those things were out. Can't have anything with coconut in it. Coconut flour, coconut flakes, coconut oil. I tried keto a few years ago, and that's how I found out that I was allergic to coconut. So there you go. But that's why I started low carb, and I started off very basic. I was looking back through my app, and my lunch that I would take, and I was very limited what I could take for lunch, because again, they were like crazy on this pandemic protocol. We weren't allowed to use the break room. We weren't allowed to eat at like the tables that were around. There was one microwave for our whole floor, and we had tons of people on our floor. We had my department, we had the whole call center, we had a whole processing center. I mean, it was full of people. And so if you had to heat up anything, you were going to wait in line, and we got a very short lunch. So you pretty much had to have something that you could eat in your car. So I was looking back, and I started, and I vaguely remember this. I would bring a little bar of like the 85%, I think it's Lindor or Lindt chocolate. I would take one or two boiled eggs, which I had to Google how to boil eggs. I had never hard boiled an egg. Like when I say I started from like nothing, I started from nothing. I would take cheese sticks. And I think for a little while I took some hummus, because I had just bought a bunch of hummus, because when I found out I was high blood pressure, I like just started Googling what healthy people ate. So I was buying like Kashi cereal and hummus and all this stuff that, and organic bagels. And I think I was eating like 300 carbs a day before I found out I was diabetic. But so I was trying to eat up the hummus, because I'm too poor to just throw expensive stuff like that away. So I think I would take like 2 dollops. And I was taking peanut butter that I portioned out in little jars, which that was a big eye-opening experience. Another big part of this was just learning how to read nutrition labels, because those dang food labels lie. Like, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day, but I was eating this peanut butter that I thought was healthy, that come in those little to-go cups, and it had like 30 grams of sugar in that little thing. So I discovered peanut butter that just had peanuts, or just had peanuts and salt in it. So whole nother story, whole nother day, but that was kind of my lunch. And so I started eating low carb for fear of digestive adventures on metformin, which thankfully I did not end up having any digestive issues. They gave me some really good tips on getting on that stuff. I was on that stuff for a year, basically until January of this year, 2022, when I was able to come off of it, because my doctor was comfortable that I was on a, like, I'm in it. Like, I'm losing weight and I'm continuing to lose weight. It's not I'm on a diet and then I hop back off of it, But anyway, I did lose a lot of hair on metformin, but, and I had really, I can't prove if it was metformin or the lisinopril, but really crazy leg cramps, but no digestive adventures. So I didn't have to run from my seat at work. I just probably left a lot of hair on it. Cat hair and people hair. But then the craziest thing happened. So I started eating low carb. And I think one thing that also, this is just me thinking now, looking back, that helps people, and they feel such a difference when they go low carb or keto or, what have you. It pushes you, especially if you're on a budget, because you can't buy them fancy, already put together things. It pushes you to buy things that are a lot less processed. I think that was a big thing, but whole nother day. But what I found when I researched and I got to the point, I think my sweet spot when I started was about 35 or 40 net carbs. Again, I didn't fool with it that much. Oh, the cats are fighting under the door. But I didn't fool with it quite that much. I had to, y'all will hear me say fool with stuff a lot, because it's kind of like, what mental energy, what do I have that I can fool with at the time? And I had so much brain fog. I was in so much pain from inflammation. I didn't even realize that. I haven't even realized that till lately, just where I feel different now. And I've started really working on inflammation. I had such brain fog. I had constant headaches, all this stuff. I was doing my best. I honestly don't know how I did it. Like, my before self is like my hero, because I don't know how I done it. I was working a lot longer shifts, so I just I started very simply. But one thing I noticed when I had done low carb, and I think it took about a week or two, and this is what just cemented the deal, and it was just no going back from there, was my mind got so quiet. That's the only way I know how to describe it. For those of y'all that, I guess, have issues with food, which that's a whole discussion, how mental this journey has been. We'll just talk about food today, but I never really got satiated from food, I realized, before that. And it was always like, you'd eat something, and then like an hour or two later, I was ready to eat something else, and there was never any satiation with anything. Like, I don't know, and it was just always constant in my head, and I would be eating stuff, and how do you even describe it? Because it's been so long, but I lived with it for like 35 years. I don't know how to describe it other than my mind was just so quiet. The brain fog improved significantly. It took it a few months to really go away, but it was just, my mind was so quiet. I didn't really think about food. It's just really bizarre to say. Or like, you just get those like craving responses, or just, I don't know how to describe it. Like, my mind has been just so quiet. I would eat, and I wouldn't be hungry until it was time to eat again. And that may sound like a duh thing for some people, but for me, it was like life changing. I had room for other thoughts. I'm describing this, I think, really poorly. Hopefully some of y'all understand what I'm saying, but I don't know. It's the only way I know how to describe it. My mind was just so quiet. There was no, like, I didn't crave anything. I felt really satiated when I ate. It was just great. So the only way I know, like, that just got it for me. And the main thing was I took out all added sugars completely, and I went low carb. And It was just pretty much life changing, and I was feeling less like crap every day. And I was thinking about this the other day when I was cleaning up one of our cabinets that we keep our like over the counter meds in, like Tylenol, ibuprofen, Neosporin, all that good stuff. Ollie, don't you hit my camera, bud. He wants me to pay attention to you. I'll pick you up again. But, and I realized I used to have to, I went through and this is so bad for you, please don't do this, but I had to get through my work days and stuff, I was taking a bottle of Tylenol a month just because of the headaches, how much, pain I was in, my joints were all swollen up, everything, and I realized I haven't taken a single Tylenol since I've gone low carb. I don't think. I couldn't tell you the last time I've taken a Tylenol. It literally had gone bad. When I say Tylenol, I say it's the generic dollar store one. But it had actually expired in our cabinet. And I used to, be the one walking around. You could hear my Tylenol jingling in my purse, And it's been crazy. And I started eating, with eating things very simply. I found a recipe or two, I started with those lunches when I would just literally eat things components of things. It wasn't even a meal, and no, Ollie, no bud. He is determined. He's going to hit this and then it's going to go down. It's going down. But maybe this is why I film in my car. But then it just came from there, and my mind was clearing. I started having, I wouldn't say more energy. I really didn't have a lot more energy until here lately. But things that I was doing, it cost me less energy to do things. I think that was with the weight coming off. The weight just started coming off very steadily. I think toward the beginning I was averaging about 3 pounds off a week, and then it went to about 2 pounds and 1, and now I lose about 3/4 to a pound a week, I guess. I don't know. I don't really track it that far. That was a big thing. I really just focused on my nutrition, and I knew if I was eating what I needed to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the weight would come off as the weight was going to come off. I have I'm in my mid-30s, my hormones aren't great, I have, digestive issues, all these other things, oh gosh, it's just, so I knew my weight was not going to come off at the same rate that, some 20-something fitness influencer or something that does this for a living is going to come off. And I just kind of built from there. I started very simply. I remember I found out eggs were low in carbs, so I was I can hard boil an egg, and I will meal prep that, and I can put them in mason jars and put them in the fridge and put them in my lunchbox, and just really started from there very simply. I had never done meal prep before. Especially not meal planning, never done it. I used to go to the grocery store once a month. And get all canned stuff, a big bag of potatoes. And I had to slowly switch to going grocery shopping. I think I started every other week, and it's every week, and now I go twice a week. But it's just been a slowly gradual build up, and then I didn't bring it in here, but I think I showed it in one of my meal prep videos, and I would just slowly teach myself these things that were low carb, and I'd find a recipe and I would try it out, and I'm on a very strict budget, so I didn't want any recipe with any frou-frou ingredients. I didn't want a recipe with 9,000 ingredients. It's got to be something that me, who knows nothing about nothing, can execute. And I slowly just started to build that up, and then learning about food preservation and all this stuff, and I've just gone from there. But the biggest reason why I've gone low carb and I've stayed low carb is just that my mind has been so quiet. I felt so much better. My day does not revolve around food. without having added sugar and stuff, I can taste things. I cannot even begin to tell y'all how good food tastes now. And I have even tried, and this ain't nothing to do with low carb. I think this is more to do with looking on the back of products and really looking at the ingredients that are in it. That's another thing I'll say. I went low carb and I started really paying attention to the ingredients on the back of foods, and I would slowly learn about things. And I'll learn about ingredients as I go along, and I don't try to do everything all at once. I just mentally, I can't do it. My schedule is just really a little bit crazy, and I just don't have the mentals to take stuff on all at once. So I kind of look at it and how my nutrition, again, like I said, it's got to be something you can do in perpetuity, and that's how my decisions were based. It's got to be something that I can fool with forever. And I just had a brain fart. It's got to be something I can fool with forever. It's got to be something I can execute. It's got to be something I like. And I can about make myself like anything. If I find something's healthy for me, I will make myself like it. I will make it in a way that I will like it, or I will just make myself like it. I mean, I'm grown. I don't have a toddler palate. Like, you can just make yourself like about anything. But I kind of looked at the diet as kind of like building. You got to build the brick wall or the stone wall that will withstand all time. So you build it one little brick or stone at a time, and you got to make sure that that stone is locked down forever before you ever start to place that other stone, because you start stacking them things up too quick and you got a bad one in there. First little thing that happens, it's going to fall down. So it's better, to just do it a step at a time, or even in a way. That's what I didn't like. Here's a good example, because on my channel I have that video where my office is a GOM. This used to be like a hoarder's paradise, although I'm not advertising it very well right now. Y'all are seeing the junk corner that's usually hidden behind the door. But when you go to clean up a junky old room, you got to do it like one piece at a time, or you're going to get overwhelmed, or you're going to make a bigger mess, because you're going to try to set everything up all around the house and make a big old mess in all the other rooms, and then you're going to lose steam halfway through, and then instead of just having one messed up room, you're going to have 5 messed up rooms, and then you really got a pickle. Instead of just going slow and going through every item and finding places for all those items and figuring out what really needs to be kept, and just doing it systematically and teaching yourself so that you don't get a gommed up room again, if that makes sense. Another big part of it, in addition to low carb, is and it's something I've had to teach myself over time. It's like a muscle to work out, or I joke with my father. I'm like, I feel like I have like a heads up display in my head when I'm in the store and I'm looking at foods and I'm analyzing the back of the label, and I'm looking like, it has this in it, that in it, these type of nutrition. I just put it back, and I'm just so like laser focused when I get in the store now, because I've learned what I'm going to spend my money on and what I'm not. And just learning that food labels freaking lie. And any of y'all, if you're thinking about doing low carb or keto or whatever, look on the back of stuff, because just because it has that it's low carb or has that it's keto on the label does not mean that it is. Or it can have ingredients in there that are just crap. Okay. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Labels lie. At least in the US, there are very lax laws around what foods can put on the label. It's insane. And that's been a really big thing of mine. And I start learning, and it's just kind of been listening to my body. Like, I eat this and I feel like crap. Why? And that I've just slowly built up on that. And a lot of things, I make a lot of things from scratch now. And I like to say that's because I'm trying to be all like organic, fancy, frou-frou. It started coming from a place, just like with the medication. I didn't want to go on a digestive adventure. Well, this is because I'm on a budget and I'm poor as crap. I saw like the things that were in my budget had ingredients in them that were not good for me. And I was like, I bet I can make it. So I go on YouTube because I YouTube everything and I look up recipes for everything. Thank God we live in this day and age where all these wonderful people have shared their experiences and their expertise online so that people like me that don't know anything can go on there and benefit. I appreciate it all. Here's another funny one. This just happened this past week. Like I said, I'm trying to add more fruit in my diet now. Found out peaches were low on the glycemic scale. I've never ate a fresh peach. So I had to go on YouTube. Yes, I had to go on YouTube for how to cut and eat a fresh peach. That video was good. Came out perfect. I did it. I had to look up how to cook eggs in the skillet because I cooked my eggs in the microwave. Bachelorette through and through, honey. But anyway, once you cook them in the skillet, though, you can't ever cook them in the microwave again. Daggone it. But I had, it was just hard to find things, and the things that are already put together and made are so expensive. And then you start learning about ingredients and how ingredients are made and how so simple some of these things are made and how marked the crap up they are. And so I started making things from scratch, and I like it because then I can know what ingredients are in things. And then I started feeling better and better and better. So it's like when I went low carb and my mind was finally quiet. And then when I started making things from scratch and getting, more simpler with ingredients and doing all this stuff, then I started feeling better and better and better. And I'm like, what? And then the stuff tastes better. I don't know. It's weird. I like the stuff I cook for me better than I could get out of the restaurant. I think it's because I cater it exactly to how I want it. But I kind of like cooking. Don't know nobody. I love cooking. I found my love for cooking again. Because I found stuff that I can actually eat, and it makes me feel good and everything. I look forward to my meal prep every week. Now, that took a long time. That took a lot of building that brick wall. Probably not even a brick at a time. Probably like a tenth of a brick at a time. And it's just kind of gone from there. And, I've slowly started learning about things like the glycemic index, because I'm diabetic. And all these other things, because I'm going to tell you what, if I can help it, I will never be back on those medications again. I never will. My A1C, once I went low carb, it was actually in the healthy range within a couple months. But again, she kept me on it just to make sure that it wasn't like a fluke diet that I was on. It blew my mind. I didn't ever think that could happen. I ain't going back. My hair's starting to grow back, y'all. It's still thin as crap, but it's starting to grow back. It's almost long enough to go back in my ponytail. My hair's already thin and stringy. I don't need to lose anymore. Oh gosh, where have we gone with this video? It's just hard to talk about stuff like this because I feel like there's so much information I just want to throw at y'all, and I don't want to do it in a way that I'm like, this is, because I'm not a guru. I'm a random fat lady on the internet, but I'm just kind of sharing what really worked for me. And it's been very different, because like I said, I've been on tons of diets over the years. You name it, I've been on it. I thought I had been eating healthy. I grew up in a house where we ate, healthy. I think I, with a lot of people in my age group, have been the victim of the food pyramid. That was crap. That's a whole other thing. You want to get really mad, look at the history of the food guidelines in our country and that bull crap. That'll make you real mad. There's a reason why 1 in 2 in the country right now is either diabetic or pre-diabetic. Yeah, 1 in 2. It's wild. But, so we did all the whole grain, everything. We've always made our own bread. Store-bought bread just tastes like crap, and making your own's cheaper. I come by it honestly. I'm cheap. I will make it myself. That's just, there's certain price I will spend for things, and I'll just make it myself. But we never ate out growing up. I think we ate out once a year for our birthday. My dad always used whole wheat everything. We ate oatmeal. We didn't get the little nice cereals, the ones you always wanted as a kid, like the Lucky Charms and the Cocoa Puffs. No, we had like Bran Flakes, Total, Life. Sometimes we get the Cinnamon Life. That was fancy times, It was just, that's how we always ate. It was like the healthy stuff, but again, it was always like the fat-free stuff and everything. And I was just really missing that piece of the puzzle, that I was like an insulin resistant type 2 diabetic, because I was eating so many whole grains. And sugar is hidden in freaking everything. These companies load stuff with sugar and get you addicted to it. And because these added sugars are not equal to like natural sugars and things. That's a whole nother story, whole nother day. But that's kind of like how I've stuck to the diet. Is I don't want to feel like crap. And I cannot tell you how much I enjoy having a quiet mind. That's a whole video for another day, talking about kind of my whole mental and the revelations with that, and how I kind of realized I had such an unhealthy relationship with food. I was looking at food as more than food. And eating like added sugar and stuff is not worth it either, because it's like once I got off of that and I went through the detoxing of it, it's crazy. It's crazy. And now I've tried to eat foods, even like low carb processed foods that I really enjoyed before, and all I taste is chemicals. I don't know. It's very strange. It's something to think about. But I went off on a whole tangent. I was going to tell y'all about that. But y'all know how it is. I just ramble. Apparently I ramble in the car and I ramble in my office. And Ollie is about on his last nerve. He's like, I am done, woman. You are just talking too much. And it's getting late. And I still have a few chores to do. But I hope this kind of, some kind of introduction. I know it's not hashtag worthy, fancy graphics or anything like that, but I just kind of want to talk with y'all and kind of tell y'all about where I'm going from, and maybe it'll resonate with someone. I'm trying to think of a good way to explain it, but that's all I can say is my mind was quiet. My brain fog went away gradually. The headaches went away. My fingers weren't super swelled up. I got a band-aid on them now. That's a cat injury. And just like things started letting go. My inflammation was going down. Weight was just coming off naturally. The only working out I really did, I had a little stationary bike, which I did for like 5 minutes at a time. And I did very gentle walks for like 5 or 10 minutes at a time. It's just, going low carb and less processed foods changed my dang life. So, and it's something that it's scary how easy it's been to maintain. It's not been difficult at all. Like, I don't know. Like, it always is weird to me because people will ask me how I lost weight and they expect some like magic answer, and it's like, I don't have one. I just took what cards I've been dealt, ate within those cards, built up and found things that I really enjoy eating, like recipe-wise and everything, and things that don't make me feel like crap. Because I guess I'll end here because this was a big truth I had to tell myself, and I'll probably elaborate in a future video. But the moment I learned I was diabetic, I don't know why having high blood pressure wasn't that light bulb moment for me. It wasn't. I think it's just because I was so dang ignorant about it. The moment I found out I was a type 2 diabetic, I couldn't have my head in the sand anymore. And if I kept eating this sugary stuff and I didn't learn about what I need to eat and everything, and I knowingly ate these things that just added to my diabetes and worsened it, I might as well have been poisoning myself. I would be deliberately poisoning myself because that's sugar to a diabetic is pretty much poison, in my opinion. So that's just something to think about. And whatever health ailment you have, it's kind of like if you find out you have celiac and you just keep eating wheat because you're so addicted to wheat. It's just something to think about. And I had that realization, like, if I keep eating all this sugary crap or, carby crap or whatever, doing this, and it holds such a significant power in my life that I'm willing to poison myself to have it and have to go through this whole mess of medication for the rest of my life and just be sick and feel like this for the rest of my life. What does that say about, food's place in my life? I'm literally putting food before myself. That ain't right. That ain't right. No two ways to put it. And that was something I had to really dive into. Something I really dived into, and it just really changed my relationship with food. And, another big thing that motivated me to change, and I never looked back, because let's be real, to make big changes and stuff and to start on that journey, you just have to have that fire in you, that all these little excuses you've told yourself year after year after year, and you've just created, because we are great at lying to ourselves and hiding things from ourselves. You just have to have that just, I'm through with it moment. You really do. To where when you start telling yourself those excuses, you just throw them away like, nuh-uh. Pretty much. But another one that got me, and I hear it all the time now, people, that's a whole nother video, how aggressive people get with me now when they find out I eat healthy, and I've ate healthy for a long time. Some people get really aggressive with you, especially other diabetics. Because I've had people, offer me sweet treats. I'm like, oh, no thanks, but I really appreciate it. That's a whole nother video too, navigating around people, because you get put in some awkward positions, and sometimes you just have to be that person. You just have to be that person. But people get really aggressive with you. And the thing, and I've heard it, and I've probably used this as an excuse in the past. It's like, well, what if you die tomorrow? Just eat the cake. What if you die tomorrow? Just eat the pie. But yeah, what if you live? What if you on this earth, you blessed for another 40 or 50 years, and you already feeling like crap now? You're already on a ton of medications now. Where are you going to be in 40 or 50 years if you're still here? That's just something to think about. And that's kind of my comeback to people now, who's like, but what if you die tomorrow? You go out tomorrow and get hit by a truck. Just eat the pie. Just eat the cake. Just eat the candy bar. Yeah, but what if I live? What if I live a long time? Quality of life is a thing. It's a thing that's very real to me. And when you're confronted with your mortality and stuff, it wakes you the crap up. But anyway, I have rambled long enough. I'm going to get to it, y'all. I just thought I would try this out, see where we're going. Tell me what y'all think. My little rambly videos, especially these. You can just listen to them or what have you. Thank y'all so much. I'm going to get to it, y'all. And I will be back soon with something else. Bye, y'all. Lord, how do I turn this thing off? Try it again. Bye, y'all.